moving forward, Rob, to the pièce de résistance, the one that everyone was waiting for. This one was the battle of the two most entitled fan bases in volleyball, so you know that it was an absolute war in the Discord.
Oh
and
man.
and I will say, Rob, before we say anything and before we get into it, I will say this is the best the USA has looked in 2024. I think that this match is the best that USA has looked this season, and I am man enough to admit that they played a very, very good game. They were dominant through the first two sets. Japan couldn't even touch them. Japan's game plan switched up in the third, and they were able to readjust for the fourth and really run away and get that win. And I mean, even in the third, Japan kind of ran away with it, and the USA was able to bring it back. So, yeah, I thought this was a fantastic outing for the USA, and I thought it was an absolutely horrendous showing by the Japanese national team. And specifically, and this is I'm being told that, like, the weebs are telling me to say this. They are telling me to get on Ishikawa, and I think in this one we have to.
He was bad. 5 for 11
bad.
with 3 errors, and we sent him to the bench. That is your best and most important player. And at the Olympic Games, that is not the time with your tournament on the line when you know you need one set. You need one set to guarantee yourselves in the quarterfinals, because that was the case. They needed one set, and they knew it. And that one set that they got was once their best player went to the bench. So we will talk about Japan, certainly. But we got to talk about my United States, boys and girls. We got to talk about this team. Bing bong, boys and girls. The United States is here, ladies and gentlemen. We took the hardest pool in the tournament. We went 3-0. We beat 3 very good teams. We destroyed the first 2 sets in every match that we played. Destroyed the first 2 sets in every match that we played.
That was a discussion on the voice chat where they were talking about this, like, oh, can Japan bounce back? And I was like, I mean, yeah, I think so, because the USA has been terrible in set 3 and have been really, like, they've been throwing set 3 so far this tournament, basically.
Well, we threw it once. We beat Argentina 3-0, as you'll recall. But that was my favorite part about this match, is the way that we responded in set 4. That is absolutely my favorite part about this match and this United States performance, is the way that we responded to Japan lighting it up in set 3. They completely changed their offensive strategy. They never even attempted to swing for the court at the beginning of set 3. They were exclusively going for the edges of the block, and it worked. It absolutely worked. Nishida, Otsuka, Takahashi less so, because he actually has the ability to put balls to the floor. But
oh no, it's Ran. Yeah, sorry,
yeah, Ran. Ishikawa was long gone at this point. We don't even need to talk about him. But yeah, Japan changed everything up strategically, because we were all over them with physicality in the first 2 sets. There was nowhere they could go around the block. They could not fight off our service pressure. We actually did legitimately beat them in the serve and pass battle, which you yourself yesterday, Everett Delorme, did not think was possible. But then
I thought it was possible. I said
we responded to that game plan change and that shift in energy, because that crowd chanting Nippon whatever in Paris, I could feel my exact same smirk as that crowd was chanting all that nonsense. That this team on your screen right now had that exact same, like, FU middle finger feel to it when they got into the 4th set, and I loved it. It was awesome the way that they responded. And the other thing that to shut up the critics is the play of Matt Anderson, because he was absolutely tremendous today. 15 for 25 with 1 error, 16 points, above 50% efficiency.
Most importantly, he scored more points in the 3rd set and the 4th set than he did in the 1st and the 2nd.
Exactly.
And that, to me, was the big thing. Is that, but once again, so far you've only been able to get 2 good sets out of Matt Anderson. this games, it was just sets 3 and 4. But he was better. I do think that, like, Japan was off their rhythm today for sure. Like, to be honest, they haven't been on the rhythm this entire Olympic Games. This has not been the Japanese team of that we're used to seeing. And this is my personal opinion, but there's a lot of showboating from the Japanese team where they come
Nishida in
down
particular.
and they love to play to the crowd. And to me, this is something that's kind of new to the part of Japanese volleyball. And in my understanding of Japanese culture, it's usually kind of like head down, and there's not a lot of like trying to like hype that up. And there's this time like they get so jacked up for like the simplest plays sometimes. And I know like they really need to thrive off that momentum, but to me, some of it is too outward focused as of receiving that momentum and energy from the crowd because they're always playing to fantastic crowds. Like Japan never gets, 1,000 people in a gym. They're always playing to the most, and they're always looking for so much to the crowd as opposed to like settling into their game style. They weren't in their game style today. They weren't serving well. They weren't making.
Dude, they had one ace to 18 errors.
Yeah,
that's the worst serving match I can remember from Japan.
5 errors for Japan in the first set. They were able to even it out. 6 errors for Japan in the second set. And in both, like a combined 11 errors for Japan in the first 2 sets, a combined 2 for the the United States. But to me, it was on the defensive side. It was digging. And you just weren't seeing that defensive go from Japan in the sets that they lost. The United States.
Yeah, they picked it up big time in the third. Yamamoto made a couple real big plays that helped that momentum swell, and then you started seeing that Japanese identity where they would recycle the out-of-system ball and get a good look and chisel off the block and get the crowd going. And that's going to happen when they're playing at their best. But that was especially the serving. I was much more afraid of Japan's serving than it turned out that I should have been. They have 1 ace to 18 errors, and I thought all 4 United States receivers, because we do have 4 guys that primarily pass, were terrific today. I was really impressed with how we handled everything in serve receive, and Micah Christensen looked as good as I've seen him in a very long time. That was like best setter on the planet caliber match from number 11 in red. And then the last guys, but one guy in particular, Everett, you already know it's the man with the headband. Taylor Averill had 14 points today with 6 stuff blocks. He is playing the best tournament of his life in his first Olympic Games. It's amazing to watch him. He's unstoppable. He went 7 for 8 on offense.
The dude has been unreal.
Great.
Unreal is the only way to put it. And he's been doing it by really keeping that same Taylor Averill energy, which I love. It looks like there was that one that he took Otsuka in the third set, hit a high shot, and Taylor Averill tried to like dig it awkwardly in 6 and hit him in his chest. And it fell funny. Down, and he kind of walked off like smiling. It's like, damn, shucks, I missed that one. But I haven't really seen him really display any like frustration. He's just been. It seems like he's so thankful to be there that he's just out there balling. And it's really, really been wonderful to see. He has been, in my opinion, consistently the best American player in this tournament, hands down.
So far.
He has shown up time and time again throughout.
And I'm so just happy for him. I'm so happy for him, and he totally deserves to be there. And I think he's validating the take of many that he should have been there in Tokyo, not just for his play, but also for the vibes. And that's actually some feedback that I got. Was chatting with Everett, a mutual friend of ours, who is in Paris and watching the games. And this person was just like, dude, the energy around this American men's team is special and is different from every other team in the tournament. Like the vibes and the character and the personalities and just like the way that they are conducting themselves emotionally compared to a lot of the other teams in the field is just different. And that was why that, combined with the way that we responded in a volleyball context, like in the 4th set today, makes me so excited and like legitimately optimistic, as I've been this whole quad, that this team can win an Olympic gold medal. They can. I'm not saying that they will, but they can.
I fully agree with you on that. I fully agree with you on that. Before I touch on that, I do want to just touch back on Taylor Averill for a second. He's a combined 18 for 21 in the tournament with only one error. So he has one error and he has two continues.
That's disgusting.
He also has a combined 11 blocks across the three matches and 5 aces. He also has 4 digs.
That there can't be another middle blocker in the tournament who's playing better than that.
No,
that's incredible.
No, that has been unreal. What was the other thing that you said?
I think that the way that this team is playing right now is Olympic gold medal caliber volleyball. And I really think that it's possible based on if we can keep that up in the draw that we get against whoever we get in the quarterfinals. But there is no team in the world that I don't think that we can beat right now the way that we played today. And it feels really good to truthfully say that and believe it. Feels really, really
I like
good.
that confidence. I do. Like that's some good confidence to have.
Not saying we will win. I'm saying that it is absolutely possible the way that we're playing.
Oh yeah,
right now.
for sure. There's no doubt about it with this roster and this team. But to me, it's all going to be about the emotional stability of the United States. And I mostly think that comes down to one player. I mostly think that comes down to TJ DeFalco.
I actually liked what I saw from TJ today because he was getting pretty pissed off in the third set about everybody getting used on the block all the time and Yuji Nishida getting two-handed throw kills, which would piss me off as well. But then he responded. I thought he responded. He played great. He passed an absolute nail late in the fourth off a impossible serve when we really needed that ball. And then, of course, there was the highlight. I think it was the third. Fourth. It was the fourth. That ball that he absolutely exploded down the line, like to the 9-foot line. Just absolutely gross.
That was an absolute
filthy
bounce. I was literally in like mid story telling her conversation on the voice chat, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, that was ridiculous." DeFalco, like it was gross.
Inga Pet had a really good one today too. They had 2 sick bounces down the line. Yeah, TJ's emotional response is. My thoughts on that are the same as the team. I think that the emotional comeback in the fourth set was more important than the volleyball comeback. And if TJ can do that, then his teammates can bring him along for the ride when he gets the way that he can get sometimes. And this team is scary, real scary.
Yeah, no, this team is good, especially they're so strong down the middle right now. They're so strong down the middle with the way that Max Holt and Taylor Averill are playing. And it's going to be kind of interesting because, we talked about how, this team is so deep down the middle that they have to bring 4 middles to the Olympics and they're going to use them all and interchange them all. And I don't think we're going to see David Smith and Jeff Jindrak right now. If nope. Max Holt and Taylor Averill are playing the way they are, I might ask, is it terrible for Spraw to be like, hey, can one of you take a knee? Say you're injured, so we can bring Ensing in a little bit, provide just some potential relief off the bench.
We'll see. I loved what I saw today from this entire team. Matt Anderson was awesome. I thought Aaron Russell weathered a bit of a storm, came back in the fourth and was really good, really clutch. Micah looked like the best setter on the planet today, and Eric Shoji was also real good. Anchored a reception unit against a gnarly serving team and only gave up 1 ace, and I am thrilled. Yeah. Also, I called this. I did say 3-1 yesterday, so I'll take that to the bank as well.
I was thinking USA 3-2. That's what people in the voice chat asked me, and I said USA 3-2. And then the way that they were playing, I was like, oh, actually, I think it's going to be 3-1. And since you've got a wedding festivities to get back to, and I'm going to watch Deadpool 3 tonight, I wanted to get this stuff on the road sooner rather than later. So I'm glad that the USA took it down in 3. And as I said, I do think that this is the best version that we've seen so far of this team. However,
completely agree.
I don't necessarily share your unbridled optimism when you look at the other 4 teams in this tournament who are really good right now. That being Italy, Poland, France, and Slovenia. That to me, there's 5 teams in that conversation, and the other teams in the quarterfinals, Germany, Japan, and Brazil, are all on the outside looking in, with the potential of bringing up an upset, especially Germany. I'd
Well,
say that
fortunately for the United States, and I agree with you. Like we've been talking kind of this whole quad about there being 4 contenders. There are definitely 5. Like Slovenia is absolutely in there the way that they've played so far. The fact that we won this match today and that we won it in 4 means that no matter what happens between Italy and Poland tomorrow, as we can actually start to look at some of the standings here, we will get no worse than the 2 seed. And that means we're going to be playing either Japan or Brazil. And we just beat Japan, and I feel good about our matchup against Brazil. And that the thing that I most wanted to do was avoid one of those other contenders in the first round. And because we won this match today, we have done that. And that's fantastic.
I